Alright guys, so some of you are about to be real upset with this one because it's official. Bad Bunny is headlining the Super Bowl 60 halftime show in California on February 2026. And while millions of fans are hyped, there are those, especially non-Spanish speakers, that have been calling for a boycott.
If you did not understand that, you got 4 months to learn. Ese comprende, and they all applaud.
Some people are trying to boycott Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance because apparently the language that the music is sung in has now become a reason to cancel the halftime show. But why exactly are people so pressed about this? If you're someone that doesn't know who Bad Bunny is, then stop lying. Either you're living in the middle of a cornfield or you just want to be different so bad. Bad Bunny is one of the biggest global artists out right now, breaking streaming records, selling out stadiums, winning Grammys, and crossing over into wrestling and acting. So you must know who he is. His influence is massive. He's not just a Latin artist, he's a global superstar. The NFL's decision to pick him makes sense, and when you think about it, the Super Bowl halftime show has been trying to capture younger audience and reflect modern culture, so it's pretty much a no-brainer that they would want to attract new viewers. And let's not forget the history here. The halftime show hasn't always been about a big cultural event. Back in the day, it was marching bands, random act, but since the early 2000s, it has become about the biggest stars possible. We've had Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Prince, Rihanna, and I will admit, the talent there is a little bit different than the talent we get with Bad Bunny. But there's an abundance of artists to pick from, and this year, it's the person who's had the best year of their career. Just fresh off his 30-day residency, which was set to generate over $700 million to the island of Puerto Rico, and his latest album that has been a mega hit and still playing since January. Bad Bunny is on top of the world, and this has just taken him to a whole new level. So now that you have some backstory on Bad Bunny and why the NFL decided he was the best pick, the question we had to answer is, why are people so pressed about this? On one side, you've got fans, especially Spanish speakers and younger audience, who see this as a historic win. Like, this is the first time a solo Spanish artist is headlining the Super Bowl. To them, it's representation, it's global, culture catching up to what they've already known, that Bad Bunny is a superstar of this era. But on the other side, you've got a whole wave of backlash, and it's coming mostly from non-Spanish speaking audiences. And what's your biggest complaint? We won't understand him. And not just that, some critics are calling it a slap in the face to traditional American culture.
Knows who Bad Bunny is. Literally, in America, if you're an American, nobody has heard of this guy. I remember when he had a meal at McDonald's, it was a Bad Bunny meal. I remember asking them who is Bad Bunny, and they said the same thing. They said literally nobody knows who he is. A meal at McDonald's, it was a Bad Bunny meal. It was a Bad Bunny. It was a Bad Bunny meal. Bad Bunny meal.
Saying the halftime show should be in English since the Super Bowl is an American event. Here are the most popular complaints about this. He's a massive Trump hater. Well, I wouldn't really say massive, but he doesn't really see eye to eye with the current president. And not to get too political, but you have to understand, Bad Bunny is always going to have the Latin community's back no matter what. And to him, what is happening in America is seen as a threat to Spanish immigrants all over. He's publicly spoken out against this in tweets, music videos, and even more recently when he explained why he didn't add tour dates to the US. Which leads me to the next complaint that he's been getting, as in he's an anti-ICE activist. I think anyone who considers what ICE is doing to be wrong is automatically labeled anti-ICE. Personally, I believe that everybody has the right to speak their mind, and them not agreeing with what ICE is doing doesn't make them bad. It's understandable not to want to support people being kicked out of this country. I don't want to go too back and forth on this here, but like I said, it is understandable. And my favorite, he has no English songs, which is true, kind of. But is that really an issue? This is the first time it's happened. Why can't we just see how it goes? The Super Bowl is supposed to be fun, and Bad Bunny delivers on that. Trust me, if you just let him do his thing, you're gonna have a great time. You gotta understand, music has always kind of transcended language in a way. People were blasting Despacito back in 2017 without understanding half the lyrics. K-pop groups like BTS have sold out stadiums worldwide, even though most of their songs aren't in English. And let's not forget, Gangnam Style. Back in the day, how viral that went. Nobody was talking about adding subtitles and people just danced. They had fun. It didn't really matter what language it was. Bad Bunny's music works the same way. It's about vibe, it's about energy and performance. So even if you don't know every word, you can just feel it. And the halftime shows are about spectacle, not sitting down and analyzing a lyric line by line. Plus, Spanish isn't some foreign niche language. It's the second most spoken language in the US. But the funny part is, this isn't even the first time the NFL has leaned into Latin culture. Shakira and J-Lo had their performances in 2020, and it was a huge success. Shakira sang in Spanish at times, J-Lo brought out special guests like Bad Bunny and J Balvin back then when they were cool, and the crowd loved it. The backlash does feel less about language and more like people are just uncomfortable with change. At the end of the day, if your enjoyment of the halftime show is ruined just because the performer isn't singing in English, maybe the problem isn't the music. Maybe the problem is you. So where does this leave us? On one hand, you've got the excitement. Millions of Bad Bunny fans, especially in Latin communities, see this as a huge cultural milestone. This dude went from posting tracks on SoundCloud and packing up grocery bags to being the first ever solo Spanish headliner at the Super Bowl. That's special and something everybody should be inspired by. Doesn't matter where you're from. On the other hand, you've got people threatening to boycott, saying that they won't understand the show, that it's not American enough, or that the NFL is pandering. But when you zoom out, the whole controversy kind of exposes more about people's insecurities than anything else. America isn't just English, it's a mix of culture, languages, and influences. Bad Bunny headlining doesn't erase tradition. To me, it seems like it adds on it, and it's okay to come together and celebrate with people from all around the world. So if you're really planning to boycott, hey, that's your choice.
I'm very happy, and I think everyone is happy about it.
Just a few more months now and we'll find out. But until then, make sure you like the video, comment your thoughts down below on what you think the Bad Bunny halftime show would be like, or if you're excited or if you're not looking forward to it at all. Just drop a comment with your thoughts on the whole situation, and if you made it to the end, I really appreciate you. I'll make sure to keep you posted, but until then, see you in 2 months.